Alright guys, we're just going to do a little bit of a review on this HPA Perun trigger board V2 along with the speeder V2 and the Pro Clicker V2 from Perun. They all work with all the Perun products that's currently out and is also coming out, like the Lightning, which is already out, as you've probably seen in some videos on YouTube. They all work with it. They also work with the trigger boards too. I also have the Trigger V3. Go get the Trigger V3.
Okay.
And the Trigger V3 for the 8Ks, it also has its own Pro Clicker. So I'll show you like a little unboxing what it all comes with, but they all work with like the Polar Star HPA engines and the Wolverine HPA engines. You can also get it to work with the Backdraft Phoenix HPA engine, but you have to use the wiring harness from either Polar Star or Wolverine. I don't know about any of the other HPA engines that's out there in the market, but I do know that they do work with those three engines, but you have to use the Polar Star or the Wolverine wiring harness for these to be able to get used. They're very easy to install. They're just like installing like MOSFET and AEG or anything like that. They're actually really nice boards. If you look at some of the videos that's on our channel, you can see in my build, it's actually, if you watch the latest from NK, if you skip all the way to the end of the video to where it says beer belly, that gun that is utilized in that footage has the speeder along with the V2 trigger board. So in this instance, if you're using a speeder, you're probably going to be using like it for an indoor build, just to get that trigger response and get it very light. The Pro Clicker, it's kind of like that, but it's more for like a real steel kind of aspect. I do know you can adjust it all the way down to like a pound in a way of a trigger pull. I don't know, I haven't really tested it for any lower than that. But it can get very light of a trigger, but you're getting a click. So what makes that click is a magnet and a screw, which you can also change out with like a nylon screw or something like that. So you don't get the click as much, but it's more of a toggle then. But when it comes to both boards, like the V3, it goes in, they have like a list on our website on what manufacturers or what gearboxes that it will be able to work with. But the V3, I don't know if I want to do a build with an 8K yet or what. I don't know. Put it in the comments below and see what you want to see with between these two boards. And that might be the next gun I'm going to build or go out and buy and try that. But we're going to kind of do a little shuffle here and let you see what you get in the box and go from there. Alright, so hopefully it's a little bit more in depth, but in the box, there's not really much to it. As you get and open the box, right, you'll get the trigger board, you get a selector plate which has a magnet, and then if, like for instance, if you have a Arcturus or like my G&G, it will not, basically if you have a dual selector switch, you have to use the switch, the selector plate that came with your gun. But if you have like a normal, just like a single selector switch, you can just drop in, from what I've experienced, you can just drop in this selector plate and call it good. But if you can't just use that selector plate, you got to install this magnet on the selector plate, just like this one. So they're pretty strong magnets too. And also in the box, you get some double-sided tape, which helps you install that magnet. And then you also will get a this white piece right here. This will help you for location for that magnet to install it on the selector plate. And then you get a patch. And then also in the box you get a programming card, which I think is pretty cool. It's all plastic and stuff. It's not gonna like wear off and all that stuff. And it also tells you what this trigger board's for: HPA trigger board, V2, V3, and then you get a manual with kinda, and then you can scan the QR code to get the manual online. This is actually stickers, so you get some stickers. I'm gonna open this board up. Can you hand me my blade, please? In the drawer. So I'm just gonna retape this back up for just when I'm ready, but the V3 I'm not gonna open up because it's pretty much the same kind of board. But as you see here, it's basically the board. You got all like everything that's hence for the magnets for the trigger and everything else. This wire will go back to your buffer tube or into your grip or however you want to do it. One will plug into your battery, and then another one will plug into the FCU. And on top of that, then like if you're using a Polar Star, one of these terminals, like one's terminals for Wolverine, other one's for Polar Star. So you got the FCU coming in, it plugs into here, and then you get from the J2 plug, and it goes into the back of your HPA engine. And if you are using a dual solenoid engine, I do believe you'll populate both of them. But yeah, so like I think either one of these, I know one connector is special for Wolverine unless they standardize them across the board. But when it comes to these boards, they are crazy when it comes to making your gun more responsive. I feel like the gun's a lot more responsive when it comes to these boards. Like I can feather the trigger when you're not really supposed to, but you can feather the trigger like when you're playing indoor just to keep somebody's head down. Very easy. Like I have it to where like sometimes I accidentally will shoot people because I would just brush up against the trigger, and it's my bad, but my son's a witness.
Yeah,
I've done it a couple times.
You shot me once in the side and then like 3 times in the legs.
But when it comes to these boards though, they're really nice. I do believe they're weather resistant, so they're not waterproof, but they're weather resistant because of the laminating that they put on the boards. But when it comes to build quality though, these boards are a lot better, and then most of them you come out there. So like if you have a traditional like Polar Star trigger board or a Wolverine trigger board, these are a cheaper alternative compared to like the Gorilla FCU trigger board Bluetooth setup. You still got to use the FCU that comes with the Polar Star, but when it comes to the trigger board, you don't have those little micro switches anymore that break all the time. I literally got the gate, the Backdraft Phoenix, and during install, I broke the selector plate, selector switch on the back of the board, just from moving the selector plate back and forth, just to make sure that it's going to engage that switch, and it actually broke the switch. It was crazy, but they break all the time. So if you want a nice cheap option, they're only like 40 some bucks, I think is what they go for online. 40 some dollars, you get a nice trigger board, then you don't have to worry about no more micro switches or anything like that. So it uses optical sensors and magnets. I mean, it's a really good concept. But then, like, if you install it, like, and I did in my gun, you don't if you use the speeder, if you buy one of the, like the speeder or the Pro Clicker, you don't have to use this piece at all. And then if you install the speeder, you don't have to install the trigger spring at all. But like it also works with the Pro Clicker too. So and you don't need the spring for the Pro Clicker. It's very easy to install. So it's just like you just put it in your gearbox, and then you keep the screw out of your gearbox. If that comes from that holds down like the like your traditional trigger board or whatever, and you would screw it in to where this black ring is. You line it up in your gearbox, and then you would just screw it in there, and it holds it in place. But yeah, and then on the back right here, there's like some sensors for senses the magnet for right here for your selector switch. So I definitely, if you're running a Polar Star unit or anything like that, I would definitely suggest to buying one of these. I think a lot of people know about them, but a lot of people also don't know about them, or they just don't want to use them. I don't know. But if you're like me and go through the micro switches all the time, this was definitely a well worth getting. I did have this one sent to me from Perun for just a review. I bought one personally. I was at the field the one day and had a malfunction with my trigger board. Like I said, the micro switch busted on me, so I replaced it with this one, or with one of these, because the field that I was at had one on hand. But when it comes down to it, though, they're really nice, and I have to do a shout out to Perun. They're really nice people. The guy that I've been working with via email, he's a great guy. He's very respectable. I have to say thank you for giving us a chance on this YouTube channel and letting us have the opportunity and review some of your products and stuff. I mean, because it's definitely really nice. I have to really say thank you to whoever I reached out to. He's a really good guy. But when it comes to everything else, this trigger board is probably going to go into a build. I don't know. I might either give this one away. I don't know. Put it in the comments below. Maybe I might give these two items away on the channel, or I might do a build. You guys choose. Put it in the comments below, and I'll go scan through the comments and see what you guys want to see. You want to see a build, or do you want me to give away this, or do you want to see a build with the V2? I mean, it's up to you. The V2, I'm definitely keeping a hold of. I got a plan with this. I'm definitely going to probably utilize it in an LMG build that I have coming up, possibly, or some outdoor build with the Pro Clicker. I might give away the speeder too. I don't know. Let me know in the comments on what you guys think, and then even let me know on like what I can do different with some of these videos. I know they're not quite polished yet, and I'm trying to get them there to where they're a little bit more professional. And also, as you've seen in the banner, FTX Tactical, definitely good people. Definitely check them out. Go to their website. I'll have the link down below, probably right here somewhere. Check them out. I mean, they carry a lot of stuff, and if you're local in the PA area, I mean, you can even stop by and pick it up. You don't even have to get it shipped to your house. But they're really awesome people, and the guy's not gonna steer you wrong on anything that he experienced. He's not like going to some of these other places like Amp or something like that, and will tell you, oh, this is going to work with this gun, and then you get home and it's not working at all, and now you got to spend a couple more $100 on something because it's not working out correctly. He won't do that to you. He will definitely steer you on the right path and make sure you got every part that is going to be compatible with that gun, because he's very knowledgeable when it comes to guns, because he techs on them too, just like me. And then let me know in the comments on what do you think about me maybe starting up a whole tech business kind of thing and do tech work and service people's guns and everything else. Let me know, because I really like that stuff, and then I might just start purchasing some stuff and to make that happen. But let me know. Thank you. Please like and subscribe.